Kiss you prick, it's dripping down the stairs.
You want burgers, hot dogs, some chicken, and ribs. Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
So, have we ever had anybody request that we don't do something?
No. I'm sure if I made an announcement that we're covering a Serbian film, I'm sure I'd get a lot of, hey, please don't do that. But no, I haven't really got much request to not do something.
Request.
No.
Because I feel like if someone told me not to do something, it would make me want to do it more.
Oh, definitely. That's why you don't tell people not to do things.
Right.
You just make us want to do it.
Yeah.
Like that one guy who complained about the butthole talk.
Well,
I think there's been so much more butthole talk since then.
Probably.
It has increased.
Well, knowing
the butthole talk has increased on the show, and it will continue to increase.
Please don't.
Today's show might make you want to take a shower. Welcome to Night of the Horror File, a horror movie and genre film podcast where I take a horror movie and genre film and show it to my beautiful wife, Brittany, who then gives us her input. And we are smack dab in the middle of fucking listener request month.
Yeah.
That's right. All 5 episodes this month are programmed by you, the listener.
5.
We have 5 episodes this month.
Wow.
It's 5 Mondays in the month. Interesting.
Well, fancy you guys.
Fancy. It's a fancy show. It's not a fancy show where we would be talking about buttholes.
That's true.
I think I talked about...
Do you think fancy people talk about buttholes?
I don't know. I bet you they call them their rear ends or their fanny entrances or something like that. You know, something. What's the highbrow version of butthole? Like, what is that? Like, anus? I guess you could call it the anus.
My anus is bleeding today.
There's a burning in my anus.
It's because it was Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo. He tore my anal sphincter with hot sauce.
This is not where I thought this was going to go.
This seems like a weird version of ASMR that you don't want to stumble across.
No.
You know? My butthole is on fire with heated hot sauce.
You know what's on fire?
What?
My fucking arms.
Brittany was out in the sun all day, and she has
I was
wicked
outside
syndrome.
for 2 hours, okay?
She came home like a lobster.
I feel the pain.
Man, speaking of feeling the pain.
Oh, God.
Well, again, it's listener request month. Not that that's the painful part, but today's movie is a melt movie. I think that's a very painful way to go. But it is a movie also that's been requested around 12 fucking times.
Oh, my gosh.
And then what did we watch this week?
We watched Street Trash.
That's right, Street Trash. I'm actually wearing a Street Trash t-shirt from Cavity Colors. It was really good looking when I first got it. It's very faded now. It's a very faded t-shirt.
It's well worn.
Yeah, well worn. It looks very retro. That's what I like about it. You know, it looks like I might have dug it out of an 80s like t-shirt bin or something like that.
You did.
Remember when like retro t-shirts came back in fashion and they were charging like $900 for them?
What?
Yeah. There was a store at the mall at the early aughts, you know, where they had like t-shirts from the 70s that were like fucking $80 a pop. It was fucking ridiculous.
That's really stupid.
It was really stupid. But anyway, today's request for this movie, like I said, this has been requested quite a few fucking times, but today's request came from Delton and Delps4 from Twitter. Now, of course, Street Trash, a movie I've been trying to fit into the schedule for a while now, so I apologize. It was one of those movies where like every time I thought I fit it in, like another movie took its place that fit just right, you know, in the lineups that we do. Yeah. Because whether it's a random month or something, I still try to kind of line these up in the same kind of like all these movies in the months usually have a kind of theme, except for listener request month, because the theme is listeners. Do you think we still have some after my stupid comment?
Probably not.
Anyway, but here we are. And here we are with the mother of all melt movies. Now melt movies have a special place in my heart, and I'm sure Brittany's really lost with that term, but it's like a whole subgenre of over the top, gory as hell, and just they kind of tend to be fun and shocking.
Oh.
Of course, I'm sure a lot of you have seen melt movies without even knowing you've seen them, like 1988's The Blob remake, The Beyond from 81, The Stuff by Larry Cohen from 1985, Society from 1989. I mean, the list goes on.
I haven't seen any of these.
No, you will eventually.
So is there like melt?
Think bodies melting.
I know, I get
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I know what it is.
Okay.
Let me ask my fucking question. God damn it. You always think you have to interrupt me and you don't. Anyway.
This may be the episode Brittany literally kills me.
Anyway.
Okay.
Is there like an offset subgenre of this subgenre of like melting zombies or like melting monster? Do monsters melt?
I think once the body of whatever your subject is starts to melt, I think it's just a melt movie. I don't think it. I think it like goes into that classification. Like you could have a werewolf movie where they all just drink Viper and melt. I think at that point it's
just a melt.
Yeah, it's just a melt movie with werewolves. You know.
Oh,
it's a
so it's
werewolf
not
melt movie.
That's what I meant.
I guess so. You know, you
Thank
could
you.
apply this melting to any subgenre in the horror. You know.
Mm.
Psychological melt movie. I don't know.
Okay.
The cream corn starts melting.
Ew.
Anyway, Brittany hates my cream corn.
I hate corn.
I hate corn. The podcast.
I really do.
But
I am starting to hate
you
corn.
are a corn. You hate corn
Unless
with a
it's
fiery passion.
unless it's popped.
Because you have like literally threatened to kill me over like putting corn in your food.
Don't do it.
But anyway, now Roy Frumkes wrote the screenplay to today's Melt movie based on J. Michael Muro's student film. It was a student short film starring Mike Lackey, who stars in today's movie, as well as worked on the special effects teams. Mike Lackey did. They all got to know each other while Roy was teaching at New York's School of Visual Arts. Frumkes said he wrote it to democratically offend every group on the planet. And as a result, the youth market embraced it as renegade artwork, which is usually how that fucking goes.
Oh, okay.
It's usually how that fucking goes. You can write something that will denigrate every fucking slot of society and you'll get a mass following. You know, that's why I say cancel culture isn't real. Anyway, this thing played midnight shows like nobody's business.
Oh, I bet it did.
And produced in Brooklyn in 1983. It was shot through most of New York. It was actually shot in 1984, I believe, or released in 87. Now,
We'll make up your mind. Get it right.
Damn. Now, Jimmy Muro, he didn't just want to expand his short story. You know, he also had a hand in the plot of today's movie, not just based on or anything like that. But to make this thing into a full length feature, he had to really, expand from what he had shot for that short film. You can watch the short film on the Synapse Blu-ray, which we watched. We didn't watch the short film. You didn't, but
I did not.
You can on the Synapse Blu-ray.
Okay.
Now
I will remember not to do that.
Now, to raise this kind of money, Frumkes decided to produce, and he went for about $500,000. Took about a year to get that. The crew. He's so depressed right now.
$500,000.
Hey, man, there's a lot went into this. You know, you have Steadicam, and they use a lot of good camera work and stuff in this. It's not just one camera. You know.
Okay, go ahead.
The crew included a mix of actors who had worked improvisation and some stage work, but most of your entire cast and crew, for that instance, had never worked or acted on a film set before, including Bryan Singer, who would go on to be a big name and a terrible human being. He directed, X-Men, the first X-Men movie. He also did The Usual Suspects with Kevin Spacey, another notable Hollywood monster.
Okay.
But anyway, that's a different podcast. So with a low budget and a lot of love.
Hold on a second.
Now, I didn't say they got 500,000. I said that's what he was aiming for.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
Me, myself, I don't actually know the final number of this. I just never ran across that.
So
Like-
I think we've talked about this before,
Uh-huh.
but I don't remember the answer because I don't listen to you half the time. So I need to know again, and I'll ask you again in 3 years. With the budgets of movies, does that account for the?
Half the time, the final budget accounts for marketing and paying your actors and stuff like that.
Okay, paying your actors. That's what
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, but nobody got paid for this. So I don't think they actually got 500,000.
Oh,
I think that's what they were aiming for.
Okay, I
I need
got
to
you.
correct myself. My bad. But because this is a low.
I mean, you
budget
may have said that,
picture.
but
Yeah.
I wasn't listening.
This is.
I was posting a picture of you on our Patreon.
I don't even expect you to listen to me much anymore on the show.
I was posting a picture of you in your street chat shirt
Oh,
on our
okay.
Patreon.
Okay, yeah, I'm showing my fandom here.
Yeah.
So I don't actually honestly know the full budget of this, but it's very low budget. So just
Yeah.
get through that. But like I said, you had low budget, you had a crew just working together to try to get this done, and a lot of love, and we got today's ultimate melt movie. So with all that in mind, let's dive into 1987's Street Trash.
So the movie starts with a hobo trying to breastfeed Leigh from his nipples, but the only thing that comes out is blue goo.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Brittany went gross out for this. Is this because I made you do line readings with my screenplay I'm writing? Is that what this is? And
Yeah,
you had to say
because-
the word seed over and over again?
Yeah. And I just want to see blue goo comes from somebody's nipple, okay?
Oh, in my movie, you can see a lot of things coming from people's nipples. Anyway, that's other shit. But today's feature, okay, it seems to have a bit in common with Dodes Kaiden, which is the Kurosawa movie about the Tokyo slums and stuff. And I bring that up because Street Trash is greater than it deserves to be. This is a good movie, and it doesn't deserve to be this good. But it's because everybody who worked on Street Trash was a notable person. We'll talk more about that as we go. But what's really cool here is this thing I really love is when you blend highbrow and lowbrow together into something disgusting. You know what I mean? Even though Roy Frumkes was going for offensive, it more comes off across as like lovably non-PC, non-politically correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a hard thing to strike. Like that's a hard thing to do. You don't see very many people doing a movie like this these days because it's hard to fucking pull this off. The only people that are still able to do it is Trauma.
Right.
Which is why I say today is like the most trauma movie we've ever had that isn't a trauma movie.
Right. This is more trauma than Trauma Month was last month.
Oh my God, it truly is. Because last month for Trauma Month, I did a bunch of movies that were typically you wouldn't think were trauma movies, but they fly under the trauma banner.
Right.
But this movie, whoo, this has got everything.
Oh yeah, this is
This
trauma
indeed feels like a
inspired.
trauma movie, but it's not. But
So anyway, back to our movie.
back to the movie.
So this movie starts with a hobo sneaking into a liquor store and stealing a bottle.
Did we talk about whether it was okay to use the word hobo? Remember,
Okay.
we had a whole conversation about hobos.
The only reason I'm using hobo it's because that's how they put it in the movie.
That's their word.
That's their wording.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, because I was like, we had a whole conversation about how to not be offensive to the.
I don't
to
think you're supposed
the
to call
homeless.
them hobos. I think you're supposed to
don't?
call them the unhoused.
I'm sorry, the unhoused again. And now I'm remembering this conversation because I was like, the unhoused sounds like a zombie. It sounds like
Right.
a scary creature of the night, like the unhoused are coming. But I think I would prefer to be called a hobo.
Yeah.
Like I said,
You want to be called Hobo Joe?
yeah, like I said in the conversation we had, which might have been on one of our Shooting the Shit episodes over on Patreon. Go subscribe for $5 a month, get a weekly show. But
I
over
already
on
tried to
Patreon.
plug the Patreon and you didn't let me.
Well, I am sorry. We are manic today. I'm sorry, you guys. But like over there, I remember saying something about we're all in a state of pre-homelessness. So I don't think it's upsetting that we use the word hobo.
Pre-homelessness.
Because we're going that way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We're getting it ready. I don't think I'll be as good as Bronson in this movie, but I think I could probably hold my own in the hobo life,
Yeah. Just don't get stabbed. I don't know.
Don't drink the dollar liquor.
No. No, definitely.
That's the mistake of this movie. Hey, you guys, don't drink liquor for $1. But anyway.
So this hobo, he's getting chased all over town by the owner or by the worker, whoever that's running the liquor store.
Yeah.
They even have him break into these people's apartment while these people are fucking, just so they can have naked people.
Yeah, because he goes over to him and fucking pulls the blanket off. Hey, there's a fire. And you get dong flopping, boobies bouncing. It's great.
Full bush.
It's a good opening. Man, I miss 80s bush.
I'm sorry.
Don't you just miss a bush?
No.
Even on a dude. Even on a dude
care.
In some of these 80s movies, man, you see these guys sporting full bush where you can't even see the dick. That's some good stuff, man.
That made me think of what's that fucking movie? Divine was in it.
Oh, yeah.
Where he fucks the chicken.
I know what you're talking about.
I don't know why it made me think
that guy has a full bush in that movie.
Anyway.
We gotta bring the full bush back into style. Too many people are Brazilian themselves.
Anyway. So then he almost gets taken out by a trash truck and he loses his money.
This trash truck they got that you see throughout the movie, in fact. I guess that drove a bunch of the actors and crew to the fucking premiere. So they pulled up on a trash truck at the premiere. That's awesome. But we do get full nudity, like Brittany said, boobs and dicks and bush. just a forest is what I'm wanting. But anyway,
I'm right here.
We also included scene of a dick that you don't want, but enjoy. Now, this apartment that they're in was where Roy Frumkus lived at the time. I think it's on the east side of NYC. But to get this chase scene, they strapped a camera to a golf cart and drove all around. And honestly, this movie about hobos drinking death wine is pretty action-packed. I don't know if you really noticed that. This shit moves.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
There is a full-on car wreck and shit, and we are in it.
Oh, yeah. So now we're at a junkyard, and this hobo goes up. What's his name? Is this
Bronson, the big old king hobo?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
It's Fred. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Fred walks up, and he says that people stole his money as he was collecting. No, this isn't Fred.
This is Wizzy.
This is Wizzy.
Yeah.
Says that people stole his money as he was collecting it. And Bronson, the head of the hobos, I don't know, he gets up and he is super pissed. And
so are these guys having to pay Bronson protection money? Is this what it is?
Maybe.
Is this organized crime in the junkyard?
Yeah, probably.
The hobo mafia?
It is. It really is.
It sounds funny, but that sounds horrifying at the same time. The hobo mafia. You won't see them coming. It's just get you.
Yep. Well, Bronson tells Wizzy he's going to rip his liver out of his ass.
Man, the insults he hurls throughout this movie.
I know.
Bronson. Which Vic Noto plays Bronson here, our main bad guy. He was cast before principal photography happened, 12 hours before they started shooting this movie. The first guy to play Bronson was fired after his first day on set.
Wow.
And while Noto claims to not really fully understand who Bronson was, he plays a PTSD veteran villain pretty fucking good.
Oh, yeah.
This dude's scary as shit.
Yes.
He is to get an idea, if you haven't seen this movie, to get an idea what Bronson looks like, he looks like if you inflated Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
If you just hooked Chuck Norris to a bike pump and just inflated him. That's what fucking Bronson looks like.
Yes, that's a good description.
He's even wearing the green shirt from Missing in Action that Chuck Norris wears.
So now we're back at the liquor store, and a man named Ed is looking around in the basement, and he finds some really, really old bottled liquor. It's called Viper.
Mm-hmm.
Then Fred comes into the store, and Ed sells him this bottle of Viper for $1.
Yeah.
He's like, here's your deal. Because this liquor, okay, it's like 60 years old.
Yeah, it's way past its due date. And
And Ed knows that he
yeah,
can sell
he
it
can
to the
hawk this
hobos for $1.
He's still trying to make a profit off the hobos.
Yes.
But Ed, by the way, Ed is another guy who looks like somebody. Ed looks kind of like I don't know, if you took like a fucking Bob Seger and inflated him. There's a lot of inflated people in this movie.
Inflated? He wasn't that big.
He's a big old dude, I thought, Ed.
No. Oh, Ed. I thought you were saying
Ed.
Fred.
No, Fred's not a big dude.
I was like, what are you talking about? Oh, Ed. Yeah.
No. Ed's a big old guy, but he was actually another professor at the NYC Institute.
Oh.
Yeah. I think he goes uncredited in this movie. So Viper, the bad batch of wine from Tenaflag, New Jersey, is now so famous amongst fans of this film and horror, in the 80s in general, that it's hard to find someone who isn't familiar with it. But the original short had this stuff labeled as Thunderbird, which is I don't know. It doesn't sound as good. I like Viper. Viper sounds dangerous.
Yeah.
Thunderbird just sounds cool. Like Thunderbird liquor.
Right.
There's always something named Thunderbird too. I bet you that's why they had to change the name, because there was already a product named Thunderbird.
Like the car?
Yeah, there's a car. I think I saw a drink, like an energy drink called Thunderbird once. One of those like cheap ass energy drinks.
Yeah.
That's kind of what Viper looks like. It looks like that cheap bottom shelf like liquor where you go into the liquor store and you're like, oh fuck, I don't have enough money. I have like $5. What do they got? Fat Man's Farm whiskey. Okay, hand me some Fat Man's Farm. It always has stupid fucking names like that.
Oh, yeah.
Like Old Kentucky or something. Like Potbelly or something. It always has some kind of gross ass fucking name. Oh, Clearly Goose or something. It's just ew. Where you know when you take a drink of this shit, it's gonna like have some sand in it or something.
Ugh.
Like it's got a texture to it, like the cheap liquor. Ugh. Rot gut is what they call it. That's a good old. Yeah. That is an exact nickname. I remember when I drank too much, like that's what I would get. I would get this stuff called like Old Kentucky. It's like drink that.
Oh my God.
It was disgusting. It was so gross. But now the downtrodden drinking basic toxic waste isn't really a new story element. I believe, and I only mention this because I'm a fan of Alan Moore, but I believe in his run of Swamp Thing from 1985, they talk about that. I can't remember what part of those comic books they discuss it, but it's basically like the fucking homeless are drinking toxic waste.
Great. So a man and woman are driving down this road in a rough spotted town where all these homeless people are washing windshields and stuff, trying to get money.
Yeah. Have you ever had a homeless person do that?
No.
It's not about cleaning your car, man. It's about like getting them away from you. Like that's all they're doing. Like they come over to your car.
Oh yeah.
And they have like this nasty bucket of nasty water that someone's pissed in during the day. And they just slap it onto fucking your windshield with this dirty ass rag or newspaper. And they just start wiping and smiling at you. And you're like, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, get away. It's disgusting.
Just throwing dollars at them. Get away from me.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, you got to pay them to get away from your car.
I had a guy try to sell me a bicycle once.
Man. Homeless people and selling weird shit. That's another stereotype.
I was like, no, I'm good.
Is this stereotype if it's true? I had a guy try to sell me headphones once.
I had another guy try to sell me a stolen necklace at a laundromat.
Did you do the thing where he holds it like he's fucking working at one of those like diamond places?
Actually, yes.
I fucking love that, where it's like, dude, did you work at one of those places at one time?
And then he accused me of being scared of him because he was black and I was white in a predominantly black laundromat.
It's
and
like,
I
no,
was
sir,
like,
I'm just scared because you're just a random guy offering to sell me a necklace.
And he was sitting really close to me.
It's very off-putting.
And he told me he was trying to buy crack, so that's why he was trying to sell this necklace. And I was like, I don't have money for you, bro.
Have you ever like considered buying the thing? Like I remember the homeless guy stopped me. And like I said, he was trying to sell me headphones. They were definitely like knockoff Beats or something, but they were like $20. But I was like, oh. Well, all right. How much? Just $20, man. $20 to take it off my hands and you can go about your day. And I'm like, oh man, those are Beats. I know they're knockoff Beats, but that's $20, good deal. And so I'm like looking at him. I'm like, oh man, all I got is card. He just walks off. It's like, man, really?
You know what's funny is both of those times I was down at my job. I was working both of those times. Wow. Okay.
I feel like that's where you'd want to panhandle is like not far away from people's businesses, you know?
Oh, well,
Like people's works.
The one thing was at a Quick Trip, which is a gas station here, and the other time was at a laundromat.
Good old homeless people. Anyway.
You know what?
Hey, you do what you have to do.
You do the hustle, right?
You hustle as much as you find me and try to sell me off-brand Beats and you know you'll get some money. Because I might consider it.
Oh my gosh. Oh, sorry. So the man and woman, they drive up and they get stopped by the light. And they're freaked out because they're in this bad part of town. They see all these homeless people. Well, Bronson ends up pulling the guy out of the car and smashes him through the windshield and kills him.
I don't know if he actually has a reason.
There's no
to do
reason.
it. Like Bronson does a lot of things without reason. Like later he like fucking yells at an airplane. That's like one of my favorite parts because the story behind it is like, I guess like they kept trying to take takes and like an airplane kept flying overhead. So like he just like fucking cursed at it and they just kept that shit in there.
Nice.
The guy who played Bronson might have been insane. I'm not exactly sure.
Who knows?
But this motherfucker, again, aside from looking like inflated Chuck Norris, he also has a fucking knife shaped out of a human femur.
Yeah, we're going to get to that.
But like, what the fuck?
What the hell?
Oh, the king of the hobos, apparently.
That's okay. That's okay.
I mean, it must be hard to be king, you know? Feel bad for Bronson.
So we see Fred. He's sitting on the corner, and someone comes up to him and steals his Viper liquor out of his pocket. Then Wizzy comes up and beats Fred up for losing this money.
Yeah.
Because I guess Wizzy is like Bronson's like
it's like his henchman.
Henchman, that's the word I was
This hobo villain has a henchman.
Yeah.
Like he has a bunch of henchmen.
So then the guy that steals the liquor, he goes into this like restroom that's like torn down or whatever on one side, and the other side, I don't know. He sits on the toilet. Knowing
New York City from the 80s, this might have actually been an actual building.
Right, at one point.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, it's probably for sure an actual building at one point in 80s New York City.
So he sits on the toilet and drinks this liquor, and it immediately starts to melt him into different color goo. We got blue, we got green, we got purple, we got pink. And he reaches up because this is one of those toilets that has the pull to flush thing.
Yeah.
And he ultimately like flushes his melted self down the toilet.
Which is a nice touch, man.
Oh,
and you gotta love like, because it flashes back and it's like a puddle of goo in the toilet and it's talking. It's fucking creepy.
Yeah.
It's great. But yeah, the day glow colors are out tonight with this goo that's spewing out of everybody, man.
It's pretty great.
It is good shit. Now, Jennifer Espinal, who would actually go on to work on the makeup department on Westworld and Captain Marvel, her original idea was to have all these people melt with a day glow color, like that matched kind of their personalities and stuff.
Oh.
No one melts the same here, which is really cool. You know, it's not just the same type of melting after another. We build up on it as we go. It gets more and more ridiculous as we go. But yeah. The special effects team was comprised of Espinal, like I said, Scott Coulter, who, if that sounds familiar, he worked on the visual effects on Stallone's Rambo from 2008 and The Expendables.
I knew it. It sounded very familiar to me.
You love The Expendables.
I love it.
Brittany's favorite movie is The Expendables.
It sure the fuck isn't.
Just the other night, she was talking about how much she loved that movie.
Oh, yes. I don't know anything about it.
But no, like for real though, the effects in this movie, the practical effects are fucking outstanding.
Oh yeah.
Like I've always told people, you know, go to be offended, but also stay for the effects. Because good Lord, I feel like this movie in particular is one of those movies you show to people who are like fucking gross and out of their mind.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they would be kind of like, well, this is a little much. There's got to be a limit to some of this. What is that?
Well, I don't know about that.
But we say this being so corrupted by things we've seen.
That's true.
We got drunk together and watched a Serbian movie. You can actually go listen to that commentary over on Patreon. But like we did that. So I feel like seeing this movie secondhand from that, like it's not so bad. Like this movie is really not that bad.
That's true.
Yeah, yeah.
And we also, we're weird.
Exactly. So when I say disturbing, I'm talking about the general public
Right.
who might view this. You're not going to watch Street Trash with your grandma. Like, maybe you will. I don't know your grandma.
I'm going to be the grandma and be like, kids, we got to watch this movie now.
I know. I keep thinking about that because I'm like thinking about like my grandparents who were all dead, thankfully. But my grandparents were very bad people. But like I remember my grandparents being like, yeah, we got to watch The Duke, or like the John Wayne movies and fucking Westerns and shit, or like some cheesy ass fucking Lifetime kind of stuff. And we're going to be grandparents who are like, all right, so how old's Johnny now? Can he watch Sallow yet?
Are you allowing this yet?
Are you allowing that? Hey, come look at my movie collection. Tell me what you don't allow. Let's just start there. Cannibal Holocaust. What do you think? What do you think?
What's your feeling?
It's weird for me because I've seen so much of this shit. I've exposed myself to so much. So when like I talk to somebody about Cannibal Holocaust and stuff, and they're like, "Man, I can't even make it through that movie. It's tough watch." And I'm like, I kind of just rewatched it this weekend. I don't know, like it was nothing. And so like I watch a movie like Street Trash, which is when compared to those movies like Salo and like Serbian Film and all those movies that go too far with some things that get politically incorrect, like this movie is like a fucking Looney Tunes special to me.
Oh yeah.
Like, this is a joyous family film compared to the other shit I've watched.
So at the junkyard, a woman named Wendy is there. She works for the junkyard.
Yeah.
And we find out that she's basically helping these homeless people have kind of a place to live. She's letting them live there, basically. And her boss, Frank, is pissed because he doesn't want to run a daycare, as he says. But he's not doing anything to kick them out. I'm a little confused. Oh, I know why. And we'll get to it later. I know why.
Yeah, we'll get to it. This is Jane Arakawa. I think this is her only film credit, her only like kind of leading role because she's in this movie most of the time. But she was in like Pink Slip as just a drunk woman, like an extra. But this is kind of her only thing. Wow,
what a movie. What a role to play for your one and only time.
You want to know something funny? Is if you go to IMDb for this actress, her fucking profile picture on IMDb is the scene where Pat Ryan's on top of her trying to rape her in a chair.
Oh my God.
That is the picture of her IMDb. I'm like, man, imagine being the actress known for that scene with Pat Ryan.
Wow. That's bad.
Yeah, who we'll get to Pat Ryan in a minute. He's the owner of this junkyard establishment.
So we're back with Fred now, and at first I thought he was dead, but he's not dead.
No.
But he does find out that his bottle's missing, so he's mad now. So now we're back at the liquor store, and a man goes in and buys a bottle of Viper. Then as he's walking down the street, he gets stopped by the cops investigating the car, and he wants info on the cop wants info on Bronson, but the guy he won't give any information out.
Yeah, he's not going to turn over on the king.
No.
The king of the hobos.
So then he goes up to a fire escape, takes a drink of Viper, and starts to turn into goo. He melts. And there's a cat here. And this cat is scared out of his fucking mind. They traumatized this fucking cat.
There was a cat wrangler on this fucking movie just for this cat. And I got to wonder, did that cat live an okay life after this? Because that's a lot to see. Although you notice, like, when he's sitting there staring, he does just kind of look off while it's happening. Like like, cats do. Like, oh, what the fuck ever.
Right.
Man's melting. Can't eat that. I'm out.
Oh man. And then his goo starts to seep down under this fire escape, and this businessman is walking underneath it, and he looks up and he gets gooed in the face.
That's good shit, man. That is good shit.
I didn't know how to describe it.
It makes you want to throw up. I think for some reason, like seeing them melt isn't that gnarly, but knowing that it hits you in like it could get in your mouth, like this person's melt goo, I think that's the worst possible outcome for any day. And this guy does not have a good day after that. This was Roy Frumkus himself subjecting himself to a face full of goo.
Nice.
He wasn't a stranger to being coated with facial wounds and prosthetics, so he had played a few parts here and there in a few horror movies up to this point, including Dawn of the Dead. I think he's a zombie in that if you look close. Now, Roy used to host a radio show from his apartment at the Upper East Side of NYC. Like I said, that apartment from the beginning chase scene, that's where he lived.
Oh, okay.
I think he had Joe Bob Briggs on there one time. I'm not 100% sure, but I think you can still find this radio show online somewhere. But Roy made a doc about George A. Romero's, I believe it was Dawn of the Dead, and it was called a Document of the Dead, which is among the first documentaries following the making of a horror movie. So he kind of revolutionized that, because after Documentary of the Dead came out and it got popular, then everybody started doing that.
So we were talking about the cat, and I had read this review of this movie. I don't know. I don't ever read reviews, but for some reason this caught my eye.
I suggest you all go out and read all the reviews you can find to this movie. They are fucking gold.
So can I read this one?
Yes, give a review.
It's kind of relevant for
I will warn you guys, because Brittany's about to read one. I'm probably going to read two through the rest of it, because the reviews, when you find somebody who absolutely just cannot stand this movie, their review is like top shelf comedy.
I don't understand this person's review. I got mixed reviews of his review, okay?
Oh, shit. Mixed reviews of the review.
So this is Mr. Parker, July 30th, 1999 is when he wrote this review. Yeah.
Woo, that's back.
The title of it is Oh Boy. I saw this one years ago. You want necrophilia, dismemberment, gang rape, needless brutality, over-the-top violence, all in one package? This movie has it all, and then some. Watch for the scene where the hard-ass cops beats the living Christ out of someone, drags them into a bathroom, and then proceeds to stick a finger down his throat, bringing up a splatter of puke on the creep's face, and looks like Four Brothers chunky tomato sauce with stringy cheese in it. Yummy, yum, yum. It's a sick movie, and it's not great, but it's the equivalent of hell. I don't know. Watch if you dare. Lastly, this movie has one of the funniest animal reaction shots I've ever seen, next to Anaconda's Black Panther. Watch for the black cat on the fire escape. You know it when you see it. Rating, 3 stars out of 5.
Was this guy drunk? Because there was a part there where he's like, and it was kind of like, what the hell? I don't know. He just keeps going. It's like, was this dude drunk?
I don't know, but did he like it? Did he not like it? Because
he gave it a 3.
He kind of sold me on it.
I know, that's the thing. You read the negative reviews and you get sold on this movie. Like, okay, here's one for you guys. I'm sorry if we're dropping this fucking episode dead, but here's a review for you. This was back in July of 2010. So 12 years ago. Ooh, I'm old. Anyway, it's 4 out of 10. Definitely a product of its time. Really revolting horror film about a bunch of homeless guys drinking some liquid that transforms them into monsters. Or something. I caught this at a film festival way back in 1987. It was unrated, but no one under 17 was admitted into the theater. The director actually introduced the film, and there were a few cast members in the audience. Afterwards, there was a Q&A. During the film, 8 people walked out in pure disgust. One woman made it a point to yell at us that we were all perverts for watching when she stormed out.
Oh, God.
That would have made my night. This movie would have been a fucking Oscar contender if some lady yells that I'm a pervert for watching it. The director was verbally attacked in the lobby, and the Q&A didn't go so well. Me, like most of the audience, were just so totally disgusted at what we saw that we just sat there stunned. You liked it, you liar.
Right.
This film easily has some of the most disgusting characters and incidents I've ever seen in a movie. Well, sir, I have a Serbian film to show you. One bit with a nude woman in a junkyard almost made me bolt. However, almost. He almost.
You don't even see her.
But the implied gang rape and murder almost made him leave.
Oh my God.
However, these films were all the rage in the 1980s. The Evil Dead, Reanimator,
What?
Day of the Dead.
What?
Okay now.
None of those are anyway.
The Evil Dead, Reanimator, and Day of the Dead cannot be held up to street trash.
Oh my God.
All unrated and playing in mainstream theaters. This wouldn't be made today, and no theater would touch it. It also, by the way, it's being remade by Ryan Kruger.
Nice. Nice.
It also shows NYC of the 1980s, which doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
So it is interesting as a period piece.
Wow.
I've never heard anyone say Street Trash was a nice period piece. However, as a film, it's pretty dreadful. Badly acted and horrendous special effects, but you do have to admire, sort of, for going full force and not backing down or trying to be politically correct. It sets out to be offensive, and it does achieve that. Does is in all capitals. Is this a good movie? Not at all, but it's gotten a certain cult status. If you're into real graphic gore and no budget horror films, you might get a kick out of this. I give it 4, mostly for its nerve.
It's got nerve.
Does that not make you want to see this immediately? That's what I mean, man. The bad reviews, I think, helped this movie.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you don't hear that very often, but. And I have more for you guys as we go, but let's get back to the movie.
I'm
for
so
now.
sorry.
No, it's okay. This is good shit.
Bronson is back at the junkyard. He's with his girlfriend, and he's gonna fuck her in front of everyone until he sees Wendy walking around. Then his girlfriend gets out of line, and he hits her.
Brittany said gets out of line.
I don't know. To him, she
She's
gets
like,
out
you
of line.
can't even fuck me anymore. Which, by the way, Nicole Potter plays Wynette in this, and she's not at all like this in real life. but she answered an audition call from a magazine, I think it was, or a billboard or something, that was just looking for anorexic type actresses.
Oh my gosh.
And she was like, well, I'm not that skinny, but I can make myself look beaten. Imagine just like, a call for a beaten anorexic woman. I got this.
That's weird. So Wendy's walking with a boy named Kevin. Kevin is Fred's brother, and they live in a really nice area of this junkyard, okay? They have this car. You go through this car, and then their room or whatever is a pile of tires.
It is a hobo mansion.
It is.
Like, this is like high living for the hobo life. They got
beds. They got pornography.
They got porn.
And
they have busts of Spider-Man and the Hulk. How did they get Spider-Man and the Hulk in Street Trash? That's what I want to know.
I guess I didn't see that.
Because the story is they had a hard time finding any product sponsors for this movie.
Well.
But there's Spider-Man and the Hulk. So was like Stan Lee like, yeah, I'll give you Spider-Man and the Hulk. like how did that go?
Maybe they didn't even ask. Maybe they just did it.
That's true. There is a lot of guerrilla filmmaking in this movie.
I would assume so.
I mean, you gotta.
But they got beds. They're like living the high life.
Living the hobo life.
Yeah. And then we meet Bert. Well, we kind of met Bert before, but
yeah.
Bert is hilarious. Why does he wear a fucking respirator?
I don't
mask?
know. He has a respirator mask on, and he has these big old pants, which you're like, well, why is he wearing these big old pants? Well, we'll tell you why he's wearing this.
So Bert goes into the grocery store, and he starts stealing stuff, putting them in his pants. And an old white lady, this is a black man, by the way, an old white lady sees him and goes to tell the manager that he's stealing chicken. Well, when Bert sees the manager, he thinks he's going to get away with it because the manager is also black. But the manager's calling him out the whole time. So Bert storms through the store, throws things all over the place, puts a paper bag over his head, and just walks through a glass door. Like walks through a glass pane.
It is the single best reaction to getting kicked out of someplace
that
I've ever seen. And he still has the food. That's the funny part. He still leaves with the food.
The thing is, hear me out on this, okay?
Okay.
Someone comes in to any store, puts something down their pants, and tries to walk out with it. You can stop them, and you can take the food products back. You can't sell them again.
Yeah, they're going to have to throw them away. My thing is, if I see some obvious homeless guy stealing chicken.
I didn't.
I don't think I saw that.
I didn't.
I didn't see a damn thing.
I did not see a fucking thing.
I don't know in this place. It's not my business. I'm buying my things, so that's my business.
Right. And you mind yourself.
Yeah, mind your own fucking business.
Yeah.
Anyway.
My body, my choice.
My chicken, my choice.
Exactly. Sorry, anyway.
Oh, but they paid $500 to shoot at this grocery store, man. They let him shoot there. Not a lot of places were letting them shoot and play, for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But they did this all at night, the inside of it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's hard to tell.
Yeah, no, like I'll get into it more, but like this movie looks good.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and I mean, not just because of the Synapse Blu-ray that we watched, the beautifully restored version, which from what I read, this was restored by the same guy who restored Lawrence of Arabia. So the same guy who worked on this like penupulent Hollywood film also went and worked on Street Trash.
Nice.
Boy, the jobs you get. Isn't that crazy?
So Bill, our police officer, detective, whatever the fuck he is here.
Mitch Hardapple. Like this guy.
Did you... Okay, so his name in real life...
His real name's Bill. Bill Self.
And in Street Trash, his name is Bill Policier or something like that. It's funny.
Yeah.
Bill the Cop is what they have here
Bill the Cop
on IMDb. But but they have him as Bill Le Policier.
Bill Le Policier.
It's Bill the Cop, okay?
Oh man, that's
Anyway.
This guy is his character. I'll talk about him in a minute.
Oh yeah. So he's at the police station or wherever, and he's checking out these people that have been melted.
Yeah.
And he's asking his coworkers about Bronson, and one of them says that Bronson was a hitman and a heroin slinger in the military back in Nam. And now he carries a knife made out of a human femur.
So basically, Bronson is Chuck Norris if Chuck Norris went wrong.
Yeah.
Like if missing in action happened and Chuck Norris came back like he's supposed to with PTSD and all this shit, he would have been Bronson.
I agree. So,
just imagine fucking Chuck Norris doing all this.
Oh my God. I'm seeing it right here. This is his brother.
It really is. Like, Vic Noto looks so much like fat Chuck Norris.
So they say that there isn't a lot they can do about Bronson because he hides things from everyone. Like he's secretive or whatever. But they're gonna go investigate tomorrow because tonight the coworker has to pick up street walkers. Wait, that sounds really weird.
Oh.
That's not what I meant. Not street walkers.
No. Oh no, sex workers.
Sex workers. Not streetwalkers.
We had a discussion like this too, because I was calling them ladies of the evening one time. And I was informed that was wrong. And I was like, I think ladies of the evening sounds nice. Like, it sounds exotic, you know?
Yeah, but it makes them sound like they don't have a job. And you know what? Prostitution is a job.
All I'm saying is we're not calling them whores, so I think we're one step ahead.
That's true. That's true.
Anyone just fed up with having to choose words?
Yep.
Okay, let's move on.
So it's night at the junkyard now, and Bronson's telling a story about the military. And meanwhile, in the mansion a la Fred and Kevin,
Dude, honestly, I'd live there. I'd live there now. Like,
I mean, it seems to be like if our garage had a lower ceiling, it seems to be like our house.
yes,
I mean,
it's
like our
not so
garage.
bad. It's not so bad in here.
No.
I mean, sometimes there's no AC. That kind of sucks. But if you're just living out in it, man, hobo mansion.
I guess you could like remove a tire and make a window.
That's true.
There are windows in this.
Yeah, they made windows into this.
Yeah. Anyway.
Not very safe, though, as we find out. You don't want to bring a lady back to this.
No.
Anyway.
So Bert, Kevin, and Fred are feasting on this food that Bert brought back. And they're talking about Bill the cop and how they don't like that he's down there in their area.
Yeah.
And then Fred, he's a little unpredictable. And he ends up stealing Kevin's money and he leaves.
He only takes $2 to go get him a snippet. You know, he's going to go get some liquor.
He only took $2 of the only $2 that Kevin had.
Okay, good point.
He only takes $2. Kevin only has $2.
But he did say he's going to go get liquor. So, you know, maybe. Anyway, is there any sober hobos?
I think Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin doesn't really drink. Kevin seems like they're trying to make him like into a character that's like trying to play out for the ACTs. Like he has like a future. Like his character never gets there, but they're kind of like building him up like he's going to get him out of there or something like that. But I'm like, what is he doing?
I feel like, and I know this sounds weird, but I feel like, because there's a little bit of storyline between Fred and Kevin.
There is a lot of storyline in this movie.
And it's not needed.
There's a lot of subplots all meet together to create this movie. There's no main plot, but there's a lot of subplots.
Right? But I guess their dad was a war vet and he was abusive or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So they're homeless now. Okay. But I think Kevin could have made something of himself, whereas Fred couldn't really. And Kevin's just there because his brother's there. That's the feeling I got.
I guess so, because Fred even has a fucking love, or not Fred. Kevin even has a love interest here pretty momentarily.
And I don't know. It just feels like he's just there, because Fred's there. He wants to be with his brother. I love my sisters. I do. I love them very much.
You wouldn't go live in Hobo Mansion with
I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it.
So the junkyard they filmed this in, it's actually Jimmy Muro's parents own this. And you might wonder what Jimmy went on to do after this, after directing Street Trash. Something more terrible? Something grosser? And not really. Jimmy Muro is one of the highest paid steady cam operators in Hollywood today.
Oh.
After this, he worked on Brain Damage, Maniac Cop, but really took off after he worked on The Abyss, the old James Cameron horror movie. After that, he worked on Young Guns 2, Dances with Wolves, The Doors, Oliver Stone's The Doors movie, Point Break with Keanu Reeves, Terminator 2, Judgment Day, True Lies, and he worked on fucking Heat.
Dang,
That's
a lot.
right. Yeah, he's worked on so much shit. I don't even have time to list it off. Directing, he's been like way too busy to do much directing, which Steadicam operators get paid a lot of fucking money, so you know whatever. But he's done quite a bit of television work directing. I think he's directed episodes of Shameless, Longmire, and that SEAL Team show. I can't remember the exact name of it.
Oh yeah.
But he really makes his money with Steadicam, like I said, in cinematography, which in this movie it shows. You know, we just talked about this movie looks good. Dennis Warner is credited with cinematography, and he does that, but you can definitely see Muro bleed through. This movie should look like shit.
Right.
But it's immaculate when it comes to cinematography. Like there, you see everything. All the action is within views. There's a fight scene later that is like good.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's almost Hollywood quality.
Yeah.
It's good. And also, though, Jim is a born-again Christian, which causes him to distance himself from this movie quite a bit, even though I'm like, oh, man, come on. Come on,
I
own
didn't do
it.
that. He's like, I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I know. take my name off of it. He's on Wikipedia. I did not do this movie.
I did not do Street Trash, the movie with the wiener scene. There is a lot of deleted scenes and stuff like this from this movie, and stuff that was taken out and they didn't shoot, because they had this keep clipping scenes out of this. The original runtime of this thing would have been like 2.5 hours.
Oh,
not a good idea. Yeah, I'm not saying I want more, but there was a whole scene that I think I've seen it and I think I've read it, but like there is a whole dance number in the junkyard.
Oh, that's not necessary.
I don't know. I like it.
Not necessary. We don't need a flash mob.
I think this movie is you could make this movie into a Broadway musical. It is that close. Could you imagine going to Broadway to see your first musical and seeing this?
No.
Street Trash the musical?
Ain't doing it. Not one time. That's too much.
They get like Seth Rogen to play Bronson or something.
Old Seth Rogen or new Seth Rogen?
Old Seth Rogen.
Okay.
Fat Seth Rogen.
Fat Seth Rogen, yeah. Anyway. So Bronson's having a non-PTS dream about being attacked. And then he finds Wendy tied up and he lets her go and they start to have sex. Then we see Bronson now and he throws a grenade and he's freaking out.
Non-flashback.
By the way, that grenade did no damage. You know that grenade would have fucked some fucking people up, okay? If that was a real grenade, it would have fucked some shit up.
Like, I don't understand how Bronson became king of the hobos. I understand he's violent and he's strong, but I feel like, wouldn't you overtake Bronson? Like, wouldn't it be easy to stage a coup? Like, to fucking take his throne, because he's sitting on a literal throne in this garbage.
Okay, and that's what I don't understand either. Fred and Kevin have this, like, mansion.
And they're, like, down the block from him. They're in the same
Bronson
junkyard.
has a bucket seat from a truck that him and his girlfriend sit on to sleep. And, like, a tarp that goes over it.
And she's sitting there, like, singing Green Sleeves through this. Man,
why?
Nicole Potter is acting her ass off as this fucking crackhead hobo lady.
Yes. But why? Why is that their location?
It seems like a wrong balance of power. Like it seems like Fred and Kevin got it better.
Maybe Fred's really in charge, but Bronson's just a loudmouth.
I feel like Fred could take over. Fred would be a good leader of the hobos.
Yeah. But I think that Bronson, he's just a loudmouth and they're afraid of what he can do.
You know what?
He's just a bully.
This is all just a fucking allegory for capitalism is all it is. The good people don't get the lead and the fucking loudmouth assholes fucking run the whole place. Oh, dear God.
You're making street trash political.
Street trash is saying something, y'all. Street trash is saying something.
Anyway.
If you think, honestly, you could make any one of these movies say something if you look at them because of the time they were made. Reagan era, fucking shit.
Anyway, so Fred's walking around town and he runs into a drunk woman puking in an alley. So she thinks this is her boyfriend. And she's talking about wanting to fuck him.
I don't think I've ever been so drunk.
Have
you ever been so drunk you mistaken a crust bum for your fucking boyfriend who's a mafia don?
No, definitely not.
I think I'd smell it. I think I'd be able to smell it.
I think so too.
I think she just wanted to fuck Fred.
I think she just wanted to fuck.
Yeah.
Just fuck.
I don't think I've been that. I've never been that hard up to have sex with people.
I don't know if you could take like your rich boyfriend and confuse him with some smelly dude walking down the street and you walk with him for a ways.
Honestly, Fred, if you just kind of look at him and he's not doing hobo shit, he kind of just looks like a folk singer. I mean, it's not, he's got the hat and the jacket with the tassels. He kind of looks like a band member from some shitty folk music.
Yeah, if he just washed his hands and his face a little bit, he'd be good.
Looks like so you walked right off of the Marshall Tucker fucking Experience tour band.
Anyway, so they walk around this building and they walk right in front of this door guy and he doesn't do anything. So the guy that's her boyfriend that he's mad now, okay?
Yeah.
Because he came with this lady that's his girlfriend or whatever. And he is pissed at this store guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just standing there eating chicken.
I love it. I love the back and forth between these two assholes.
Yes, and I
It
don't
is
know how to
lovely.
like explain it, but
It
it's
is
good.
such a back and forth that like seems very like, I think a lot of it, because James Lorenz is really good at this and he plays the doorman. He's really good at like improv. So I think a lot of his lines are improvisations.
Oh, probably.
Because you can just tell he is just whipping things off.
And basically his side of it is like, I don't get paid enough.
It's so funny. His
I don't
like
get paid
cavalier
enough to
attitude.
care. Because it's true. He probably does not get paid enough to care.
Because these are the only actors in this entire movie who are not overacting too.
Yes.
Like they are so subdued that's what makes their bits funny.
Yeah.
Like, cause he's like, yeah, okay, look at this motherfucker eating fucking chicken while I'm in the fucking watching the door. You're supposed to be watching the door.
Right.
So Duran here is which by the way, you get that song in the end credits. That Tony Darrow actually sings that song at the end. My name is Duran. Oh, but he's played by Tony Darrow, like I said, who went on to play little bit parts in Goodfellas and a few other movies. But at the time, he was playing shows in Vegas. He was a Vegas show singer.
Oh, wow.
And he took this role unpaid, like just for the hell of it.
Okay.
Well, because he had a friend who was working on the crew, and his friend calls him up. He's like, "Hey, can you do me a favor?" And he's like, "Well, what is it? I'm doing these shows. Like, I have shows every weekend. I can't, I don't have a lot of time." He's like, "Well, can you do a role, just a little role in a movie?" And he's like, "Well, I guess how much does it pay?" And he's like, "It doesn't pay anything." So he did this as a favor.
Nice.
But yeah, like I said, James Lorenz, he plays the doorman here, and he'd go on to be in he was in Frank Henenlotter's Frankenhooker. He played the lead role in that.
Oh. Okay. Frankenhooker. That sounds about right.
Frankenhooker's a lovely movie. We've got to cover that at some point, man. It fits with these 1980s just nasty movies. It's great.
So Fred takes this woman back to his place and he starts to fuck her. Okay. This is
the sex scenes in this movie, which there aren't many, thankfully, not what you'd call sexy.
This is definitely him raping her. I mean, aside from the fact that she's drunk. I mean, she's drunk and she can't really consent to this.
Yeah. And don't worry. I wasn't going to say she was asking for it.
No.
Brittany gave me a look like, what are you going to joke about?
No, I was just trying to figure out what I was going to say.
Yeah.
She realizes she doesn't want to have sex this way because she's talking about how she likes to have sex and this is not it.
Yeah. In a hobo mansion made out of tires.
This is not.
It's not the most romantic place, That couch looks comfy, though. The couch made out of car seats.
I guess. I don't know. But so this is where the windows in their hobo mansion comes in, because the guys of the junkyard, they are watching this from the outside, and they're jerking off. They're watching a live porn here.
This movie, like I said, it's fun. It's crazy. It's over the top. These scenes in particular make you need a shower. Like you have to get a shower after this. You feel gross. Like I said, you could show this to a serial killer and they'd be like, this is too much. Like, what are you showing me here? Like, this is a lot. Like, I know I ate that guy's dick, but like, there's got to be limits to things. Like, this is where we hit.
But then it gets worse.
Oh, it gets so much worse. Like you think this scene of her just having non-consensual sex with a hobo in a hobo mansion and all the other hobos outside jerking off, you think that's gross.
Well, they kind of tear down the walls, the tire walls, and they grab her through it. And they don't say it.
They don't
yet.
show anything, luckily.
They don't show it. They don't say it, but you know they're going to rape her.
Oh, yeah. They're taking this naked lady off to have their way.
Yeah.
And then we find out what's going on. Now, Here in a little bit, it gets worse. It's not done. We're not done.
No.
Miriam Zucker, who plays this poor unfortunate lady, before they filmed this movie, she was actually brutally attacked for real on the NYC subway. It left her with partially deaf and a large scar on her scalp.
Oh God!
They beat her in the head. It's a bad story, but she said these scenes actually, you know, because she agreed to this, she was fine with it, but she said when it was happening, like when they were filming and stuff, it brought that fear back.
PTSD.
Like, yeah, it just brought it back on her and stuff. She wasn't prepared.
Yeah, definitely PTSD from that. So,
but luckily, we don't actually see a gang rape by a bunch of crusty hobos.
Right.
Luckily, it's just implied, and I don't know which one's worse, because the implication we get in a minute, it's gross.
Yeah,
it is disgusting. I think hearing it, like, explained to you is nastier.
I think that, yeah.
Although seeing it is not good either.
I don't. See it either.
Yeah.
It's all bad.
Is it worse that they're hobos?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
I didn't know. I was going to ask, like, is that worse?
No.
It's just not good.
What's the difference between hobos and frat guys?
Frat guys are clean, I guess. Like, they bathed.
No.
They don't smell like viper.
Absolutely they do. Absolutely they do.
Frat guys? Oh, frat guys are busy raping each other, man. You get
and women.
Can we do something about that? I feel like that should be our plan of attack, not women's rights. We should be worried about that.
Yeah.
The amount of gang rape seemed like a little too high. I think 1 is high. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah. Anyway.
Welcome to Night of the Horror File, where we talk about these hard-hitting issues. Now back to street trash.
So it's still nighttime, and the hobo henchman Wizzy,
hobo henchman, I love it.
The hobo henchman Wizzy, he's walking the streets, and he gets picked up by the cops as they're picking up these sex workers.
Yeah.
So they throw him in the back of this van with all of these women, and he thinks he is in heaven.
I really gotta think. Like, the reason why that fucking rape scene did not fuck you up too much is because we get something really funny before it and we get something really funny after it.
Right.
I think that's how you should sandwich those kind of things.
We don't spend a lot of time in that.
Yeah, because that's what they do throughout this movie. And that's why I say it's really hard to fucking pull a movie like this off. Like, if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, because, like, they do sandwich the more shocking scenes in with something hilarious. Like, so you're just busting a gut and then you're like, oh God. And then it's like funny. And then you're busting a gut again. So you're like, okay, I'm back. Okay.
Right. So Bill tells him that they want information on Bronson, and he refuses again. And they say they're going to give him a shower.
Not a shower.
Yes. So we realize, I guess, this is going to lead Bronson to think that he's given them information because he's showered or whatever. So the next day he wakes up in the back of a car, clean clothes, and showered. Which
the guy who played Wheezy, this is his only role. He never went on to do anything else. He never did anything before. Like, I saw, like, because the Synapse Blu-ray comes with a really good making of feature, which is like a documentary in itself. It's a really good making of. So if you want more about this, go check that out if you own the Blu-ray or if you are thinking about purchasing the Blu-ray. I think the Blu-ray is very cheap at this point. But no, like, they talk to him and they're like, how did you, like, figure out, because you're not an actor. Like, he's not an actor, but he does such a good job in this movie. Like, and they're like, what? Like, he's like, I don't know. I just react to things. I was like, damn. Talk about somebody who's just fucking showing people up. Right. I don't know. I just did stuff.
I just did what you told me to do.
Not that hard.
You told me to do this. I did.
Just playing make-believe. The whole time he's just smoking a cigarette like nothing. And you're like, and I'm not saying he's like Brad Pitt level. It's just outstanding, the acting in this movie for what you got. For a bunch of first-timers.
Oh, yeah. So now we're at the junkyard, but we're in the office, and Wendy's getting raped by Frank, her boss.
That's not funny. Why am I laughing? I am laughing because...
It's funny. Okay, let me tell you why it's funny.
He doesn't actually go full-on rape. He doesn't full-on rape her or anything like that, but he's attempting. He's attempting.
But the thing is, here's what's funny. He probably weighs 400 pounds, and she probably weighs 80 pounds.
One of his legs is the size of this poor lady's body.
Yes. So they're in this like tiny chair.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, how did he not break the chair or her? Like, how? What?
You know, I don't.
And it's like he's thrusting and the chair's moving, and it's really funny. Like it is.
If
like a
you could,
rolly
if
chair,
you could
so it's
even
even
make
funnier.
an attempted rape scene funny, this is it.
Yes.
I'm sorry. It's funny.
So he gets off and he passes out on top of her, and she thinks he's dead. She can't move. She's trying to reach for the phone. Like, she can't do anything because he's like 400 times her size. Like,
he's collapsed upon this poor woman.
But then he finally wakes up and he's just mad now. So he goes out to the junkyard and he's pissed that the bums live there. And while he's walking around, he finds that woman dead, naked. And I guess this junkyard's kind of like by the beach or something, because she's kind of like on this shoreline. Yeah,
and don't think it's like a nice beach. It's
it's
not a nice beach. No,
it's like
I think they had to
it's
dump.
not a beach.
Yeah,
but like,
it's like the side of a river.
Yeah,
and I think they had to, because you're getting confused because it is a sandy part. That it looks like a nice little beach there, like just a tiny little beach on this river thing. I think they brought that sand in to put there just to have that scene where she's laying there.
Oh, okay. That makes sense, because I don't remember seeing any water or anything. I just saw sand, so I assume beach.
Yeah.
You know? But anyway, she's laying there naked. So was it your review that you read? Yeah, it was your review that you read. All you see is her ass. Like,
I think this guy was getting into it a little too much, and he felt
much.
Guilty, and he thought he had to leave a negative review because that sounded like he enjoyed himself. It almost made him leave.
Almost.
So I was almost there, but I was like, I want to see where this gang rape goes.
So Frank finds this woman and he lifts up her leg and he's going to walk down the sand with her or whatever. And we don't see what happens, but we know later what happens.
And the whole time, and I'm sitting here, it's a little hot in our studio. I'm sweating and just thinking about this entire scene of him sweating on top of this poor lady in the office. Then he goes outside and he has a cum stain on his pants that his dog licks. And then he goes and he fucks a dead body. It's just the whole thing. I'm like, I really, really need a shower. Like, I really need a shower, you guys. Okay, so review time.
Okay.
Review time. Sorry to leave you on a cliffhanger on Street Trash, but we'll get back to it. But okay, here we go. Here's a 3 out of 10. And this is all on IMDb, so you guys can go find these. And this is by Super Unknown. Ooh, mysterious. This is from 2005. Street Trash tries so hard to be a cult movie with its nonsensical storyline, the over-the-top gore and violence, and the weird characters. Again, are they trying to advertise this movie? That's the main problem with this film. Instead of being a charming little B movie, it turned out to be somewhat annoying and seemingly endless obscurity. I did not read that wrong. That's how it's wrote. Okay. Example. Oh, here we go. Example. There's a scene where a bum gets his penis cut off and a bunch of other guys start playing piggy in the middle with it. Is that what you call that?
Piggy in the middle. I've never heard
Is that
it
what you
called
call that?
I've never heard it called that. I don't know.
Okay, anyway. Do you get the picture? Oh, he's asking us.
Oh.
This movie is begging to be loved by people who love the gross and the absurd, and it's all too obvious. Besides, Street Trash never seems to get anywhere. Again, I did not read that wrong. That's how you wrote it. It starts with a guy farting in another guy's face. Then some guys literally melting away, and we think, okay, that's what the movie's going to be about. Then this storyline is completely abandoned.
Okay.
Were you so excited about the farts? Like, you really wanted to see where the farts went? And for hours and hours, or so it seems, we witness the everyday life of a bunch of bums who live in little self-made flats at a car dump. Obviously, for most parts, this movie isn't meant seriously. There's a hilarious Robert De Niro-like character called Nick Duran, Robert De Niro.
Oh my God.
Who curses in a ridiculously rude manner. I am so going to tell somebody they need to stop cursing in a ridiculously rude manner. Oh, I'm telling you, these things are great. And who even gets to sing his own little song when the credits roll? But on the other hand, the makers also seem eager to gain the respect of horror audiences. As a horror movie, Street Trash falls flat on its face. The gore effects are nicely done, and there's interesting Steadicam work to be found here. I hear the director went on to work for James Cameron. But the epic length and stupid plot of this film prevent this from being a success. If you just have a casual interest in the genre, avoid Street Trash at all costs. And even if you're a die-hard fan, think twice about watching it. Sitting this one through really is a toughie. Again.
A toughie, huh?
Again, you just want to see it. Like now you're like, well, now I want to watch it. I'm just shocked that he was really, really concerned about where that plot thread was going at the beginning. He was really wanting that to play out.
What did he even want to play out?
I really want to know if the farts are still happening. Where did that? You could drive a truck through this plot hole. That's someone who doesn't know what plot threads are. Oh, I'm so sorry, you guys. Again, I got at least 2 more of these for you guys. So I hope you're enjoying this. I don't know if you are, but let's get back to Street Trash, though. So anyway, that's Pat Ryan, of course, the big old guy who's trying to rape somebody. Who we remember from The Toxic Avenger, playing Mayor Belgoody, He was also in Mannequin as the pizzeria manager. He made like a big fucking career for a short span of time in the 80s playing these big old either super gross guys or just big dudes working at a pizza place.
Okay.
He passed in 91. But he was like I said, he was great at these characters. And he and Bill Chepil, who plays Bill the cop, they became good friends after this. And Pat would send him Christmas cards every year up until his passing.
Oh.
Bill Chepil, he was actually a retired cop. Like, that's why I say, like, he plays this role very good. Kind of scarily, knowing that he was one of these tough as nails fucking cop dudes who would work. I think he worked the beat in New York Times Square.
Oh,
which this is not the Times Square we know today, which is basically a tourist attraction. Times Square of the 80s and like the 70s and stuff, when there was like 2 to 3 murders a week, like happening in Times Square.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
So Fred is walking through the junkyard and he gets attacked by Bronson because, Bronson just likes to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
So while Bronson is beating Fred up, someone pees through this hole in this door, or not door, like,
there's a little hole in some metal.
Like metal that's like right next to him, and he ends up peeing on Bronson. So Bronson cuts his dick off.
I don't know if I could do this.
And he throws it. And they're fucking playing catch with the severed fucking dick.
Apparently, our reviewer called it Piggy in the Middle.
Piggy in the Middle. That is something to call that.
Yeah, Piggy in the... I never heard it called that. Anyway, yeah, so we get a fucking keep away with a dick in this movie. Again, you think like, what could go even for? Oh, okay, we're gonna play catch with a dick, and this dick is lobbing through the air. You get to see the dick; it's flying all over the fucking place. They had 3 types of fake dicks to get these shots: a big one for close-ups called the Packer, a medium one for medium distance shots called the Poker, and a tiny one for far away shots called the Pecker.
Sounds about right.
And Mike Lackey, who again plays Fred, he was in charge of these things, so he would have to ride around in a taxi full of dongs, like fucking, to get the set.
I mean, as long as you don't get into an accident.
They talked about when they would have investors over, they would make sure the dongs were all in the fridge. So like they'd open anybody want anything to drink, and they'd open the fridge and they'd make sure everybody could see all these dicks hanging.
Oh, on purpose. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought they were hiding them in the fridge. I was like,
no,
why?
yeah, you got to hide the dongs. Hey, the investors are coming. Be sure to hide those dicks.
And why would you hide them in the fridge is what I was thinking.
But I'm having a good time. Just keep away with a dick.
But you said you would not play keep away with a dick?
No, I couldn't cut somebody's dick off.
Oh.
I don't think I could do it. I don't know if it's a guy thing. It might be a guy thing. It may be one of those where I'm like, I'll shoot you in the head. I'll strangle you. I'll kill you with piano wire. Hey, Kurt, we're going to be staying in a hotel together.
Oh, God. Don't say that.
I'm joking.
So,
I couldn't kill nobody, but I definitely couldn't cut someone's dick off.
Well, there's a plus for you, Kurt. He's not going to cut your dick off.
There you go. See, you worry about me when I start putting on some gallo type leather gloves, but everything else is good.
I don't know what to say about you.
So were you having a good time with the severed dick scene?
I want to do this.
Whoa. See, okay, now you're calling me disturbed. Now you're saying I want to play keep away with a man's cock.
I didn't say I wanted to play keep away. I want to cut a man's dick off. I've been waiting for this my whole life.
It's good to know. No sharp things in the bedroom from now on.
Well, just don't piss me off, okay?
I feel like what is a dick cutting offense to you? Like, well, what would be a dick cut? I mean, for Bronson, it's peeing on him. He's got to cut your dang off. But I think that was just opportunity. It's right there.
Yeah, that's true.
He's got the knife. He cut your dick off.
What is dick cutting offense?
Yeah, what would be a dick cutting offense?
Sleeping with my sister.
All right, I see.
Having naked pictures of my sister.
Okay, good to know.
Not
that I have them. I did not mean it like that. I just, wow.
I gotta delete those real quick.
I said that good to know. Start playing on my phone. You're like, wait a second. No. I was just saying good, Oh my God. Keep going. What else is a dick rip? Is it all to do with your sister for some reason?
Yeah.
Nothing else?
Maybe my mom.
Ugh.
Don't do my mom.
I don't want to do your... Why does everybody think I want to do everybody?
Well, we all know you want to do my sister.
Just because I'm pansexual does not make me a sex maniac. I can control it.
Okay. I didn't say that.
Good Lord.
I'm just saying that you think my sister's hot.
We're talking about dicks being ripped off and playing piggy in the middle. We are not talking about the hotness of your sister. We are talking about dick rippage, madam. Dick rippage.
She'd rip your dick off too.
Yeah, well, good.
Because you wanted her to touch your dick?
Oh, my Christ. Can we get back to the Lawrence of Olivia of dick ripping scenes? Can we get back to that? The Citizen Kane of dick rippage. That is street trash. What the hell? What the hell?
You asked.
I'm getting attacked here. I'm getting attacked.
Well, you're not getting your dick cut off.
Well, that's good. I'm glad because I feel like that's a kill move. You got it. That's the kill move because don't you bleed out super fast? I would assume
that one dude didn't die.
Oh yeah, Bobbit. Yeah, Bobbit did. Have you ever seen that porn?
No.
Yeah, because once this dude who gets his dick ripped off by Bronson, he's not going to be able to do porn because I saw that porn with Bobbit in it. No, it is two-toned, and you think I was like. Because I finally saw it, because I wasn't that curious, so it took me years to finally see this Bobbit porn. And I was like, did they actually find the end of his dick? Or did they find just another dick out there? Was there some other lady who cut off a dick and they just found it and they attached some dude's dick?
From my understanding, they found it. She threw it out the window of the car or something.
Yeah, it just does not look like it belongs on that shaft.
I don't know.
That's all I'm saying. But anyway... Anyway, yes, this is the Citizen Kane of dick rippage scene. I don't think there's another movie that has a dick cutting off scene that goes on this long and is this great.
That's a pretty big dick for something. wasn't
Do you think
hard.
it stays hard? What are we doing here for science?
Why are we overanalyzing?
We are really
For
analyzing
science,
this.
let me cut yours off.
No,
and
I
see.
don't want my dick cut off. I enjoy having a dick. Sometimes we don't get along. Sometimes he leads me down the bad roads of temptation. But I do like my dick. For the most part, we are like that.
The bad
We're
roads of
good.
temptation
We're good.
towards my sisters.
Shut the fuck up. I don't say that often, but shut the fuck up.
I'm getting my dick ripped off tonight.
What the? Now, see, when you say it, it sounds like a dirty sex move. Holy shit.
I'm gonna pee on myself.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
So at the police station, Bill gets information that they found that girl dead on the beach. I'm not at the junkyard or whatever. And Mr. Duran and the door guy are there. And Bill asked Duran not to take this to the streets because he knows he's kind of like a mobster or whatever. And the door guy says he's going to be their veal tomorrow. I mean, there's a lot of banter back and forth and stuff,
Dude,
but
the door guy literally is ratting him out. He's like, I'll give you all the information you want on him. And yeah, everything you need. And he's like, why would I, what? And he's like, because they got that witness protection thing. And he's like, no.
And he's saying this all right in front of
yeah,
Duran.
right in front of him. He's like, you're dead. You're fucking dead. And and Duran takes his too long to try to kill this dude. It's taking him too long. It takes him the rest of the movie to attempt to kill this man.
It's too funny. So Fred is using this public restroom thing when a man comes in and stands next to him. He is going to kill Fred for being with that girl because I guess they figured out that this was him.
It's like a hired hitman for Duran. And I'm sorry, what kind of hitman comes in and like, I know it's the 80s, but did you have to wear bright pink?
Right? Did you have to stand next to him to pee?
Did you have to have the most obvious looking suit ever to where someone could be like, yeah, that guy did
it? So Fred punches him in the balls and runs off. And as they run out of the bathroom, they run into Bill. And he starts, the Duran's guy starts to fight Bill. And Bill literally sweeps the floor with him and takes him into the bathroom after he's killed him and just pukes on him.
He sticks his fingers down his throat and throws up on this dude. And that was that chunky tomato soup that they
Yes, from that review. I was not looking at the puke that long. I actually don't think I ever saw it.
You see it for a split second. That's why I was like, man, that guy was really concerned with the puke.
Yeah.
I don't know. My guy almost walked out because of the rape. Almost. That was almost the breaking point. I'm like, well, what could be the breaking point for you? I don't.
So Fred goes back home and gets into a fight with Kevin, his brother.
Yeah.
And he calls him out for wanting to fuck their mom. He says something alluding to that. Okay.
Now this is something that I would like to return to because I know the guy we read the review of who was concerned about the farts at the beginning of the picture. I figured this would have been the thing that you would want to come back up later. It's like, wait, what? What happened?
Why does this kid want to fuck his mom?
Yeah, what is this? Why they're homeless?
Maybe.
Oh,
maybe.
God.
So Bill goes snooping around the junkyard and he ends up getting stabbed in the back by Bronson.
His fucking femur bone. Dude, getting stabbed with a femur bone. That's got to be the fucking, that would suck.
And it looks like a popsicle stick sticking out of his back. Even our 5-year-old said, why is there a popsicle stick sticking out of his back?
All right, they spent a little extra money on the melting.
I was just like, maybe you shouldn't be watching Street Trash. Maybe you should just go.
Yeah, we had this movie playing with our little, are we bad parents? We're gonna get.
Well, he did not see any of the sex scenes. He didn't see anybody naked.
He saw any of the dick scene either.
No dick scene. He literally just saw this scene, I think.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, maybe we do draw the line in Street Trash for our kids. Maybe.
I mean, he's only 5.
Yeah.
If the 11-year-old came in here.
Well,
then,
I'm starting to make movies, so he knows all this shit's fake.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's the important part to teach your kids. This shit is fake. If you don't teach your kids that, it's your fault if they shoot up the school.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. Anyway, so Bronson's not dead after getting stabbed in the back, so they fight, and Bronson ends up choking Bill to death.
Yeah.
It's kind of intense here.
I did not see, when I first saw this movie, which is, good Lord, years ago, I did not see Bill dying.
No.
I thought he was going to best Bronson, but you're like, you look at the movie and you still got a good chunk to go, and you're like, oh, okay, well, damn, Bill's dead.
He did.
He did. But what happened with the farts? That plot thread was just dropped.
Did he want to stay with the liquor store owner or something?
I don't know what he was wanting. He wanted a story out of this movie, and I'm sorry, it's street trash. You're not going to get it.
They gave you the information in the title, okay? Okay.
Right. I don't know. You read some of these reviews and you're like, did you go into a movie called Street Trash thinking it was going to be high-end cinema? Like, what did you go here for?
I don't know. Fred goes into the liquor store to buy another bottle of Viper, and he's getting ready to drink it in the junkyard when the fat hobo guy, he drinks his Viper, and he turns into the blueberry girl from Willy Wonka. You know who
something
I'm talking
about a big
about?
old fat guy blowing up that gets me the giggles.
Oh yeah, hold on. Let me. What is her name? Veruca?
No, Veruca Salt didn't she get like sent to the fucking goose egg thing?
Oh, she played Violet.
Yeah,
Violet Beauregard.
Violet blows up like a blueberry, and they gotta go juice her.
But that's kind of what he looks like here.
Yeah,
because he's wearing this
juices
like
himself.
blue like jumpsuit thing. Yeah, and he just fucking explodes everywhere. Fred has to take cover to try not to get exploded.
Which
on.
luckily, because we saw from because he got the goo on his face and it melted his face off.
Right.
Take my face off.
What is that?
Oh, fucking shit.
What is it from?
It's from Face Off with Nicolas Cage. And John Travolta, you haven't seen it. It's fine.
Okay.
Let's move on. Oh, Brittany didn't get another. I'm sorry.
I don't know these things.
I love you. But so the guts in this guy, when he blows up, it is something. Like, this is a good explosion, fat guy explosion scene. So he blows up, and if you notice, the guts are real gross and kind of nasty and stuff like that. And if you kind of freeze this, you'll kind of see a snacky cake flying through the air. And for good reason. Good reason, because they had a hard time, like I said earlier, getting any product sponsorship for this movie. And Drake's coffee cakes were the only ones they could get. The only people that would allow them to have their food. And so they would get like these boxes of Drake's coffee cake to the set like every week. And so they were just eating Drake's coffee cake over and over again.
You know what? I would get that fat because I fucking love coffee cake.
I was watching the documentary and like they're talking to the Noto who plays Bronson, and he goes off the fucking handle about this. And I'm like, man, I love coffee cake.
So you take the coffee cake in the prepackaged little thing, okay? They're the packaged ones, not the fancy schmancy bakery ones, okay? These coffee cakes in the package, the Hostess ones, okay? Take it out of the package. You put it on a paper plate or paper towel. Paper plate should be safe because it's a little crumbly. Then you put it in the microwave for 7 seconds. Not 5, not 10, 7 seconds.
Okay.
Then you take it out. You pour your coffee. Perfect fucking coffee cake.
Man, now I want some fucking coffee cake. God damn. Brittany's making me hungry over here. This is not what I thought would happen at Street Trash. I did not think I'd be getting hungry during Street Trash because I usually don't. But, anyway. So if you pause it right, you can see a coffee cake flying out of this exploding fat guy. And
I would eat it.
Yeah, well, that's because they were eating coffee cakes like day in, day out on the set.
Yeah.
And so everybody got so fucking sick of coffee cakes by the end of this. And so they loaded this fat guy full of coffee cakes and exploded him.
That's awesome.
Not for real. Not that the actual actor didn't explode.
Well, that would be
a tragedy. That's called a murder.
That's murder.
That's murder.
Yeah, I want coffee cake now, and
I know that sounds delicious.
do that. Like
get coffee cakes.
Smoke a little herb, get a little coffee.
Oh, you're talking about a
coffee cake.
Now that is a high class evening. That's what you want. That's what you want for your hobo mansion.
Yeah,
a coffee cake and some weed.
Yeah, watch a little Street Trash.
Yeah.
Get a little trashy. Anyway, sorry. Don't.
Get a little trashy.
I don't know.
I don't understand how you would get trashy while you're watching Street Trash. I don't know. Like, are we?
If this is turning you on, you need to turn it off.
Yeah. If you're getting a boner off of Street Trash, I need to really get you help. We need to.
Intervention.
Yeah.
How that hurt my ear.
How? Yeah. Why are you screaming?
I'm sorry. I am a little weird today. Okay, today's been a weird day.
I told you this episode. I don't know what's going on, but we're matching the mood of Street Trash. We are manic and off our fucking rockers today.
I guess
we are crazy with Street Trash. So anyway, another review for you guys. I love these things.
Review time.
Again. And I think this works this day and age. Reviews are free publicity. And I think Street Trash's negative reviews, free publicity. Because listen to this one. So from March 2000, strange movie, 4 out of 10 stars. I just recently saw this movie with a group of friends, and I was the only person that watched the whole thing. I don't really know why, but I guess I was waiting for the movie to end, which rather begin. What does that mean? The movie started out with a bum who was running from the cops and then goes every which way from that. The bum? The movie did not make any sense at all, and I am still wondering about that part of the Chinese ninjas or whatever they were that bit that guy in the leg and had nothing to do with the movie.
Yes,
we just discovered the one guy who doesn't know what Vietnam is.
Okay.
We discovered the one guy who doesn't know
Why
what
did
Vietnam
I not describe that, by the way, when Bronson's having his...
He's having a non-flashback. We didn't have to go into it. I think there's one part in the flashback where he's sawing off Chinese, like the feet of these Vietnamese people. Like, they're not Chinese. I think this guy's a little racist. But yeah, we've discovered the one reviewer who does not know what Vietnam is. Anyway, the movie did... The movie had no plot, but it did have its funny scenes, like the part where they played keep away with the man's penis and when the fat guy exploded. This movie made no sense. I would highly recommend the movie.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I read that wrong. Okay. I would highly recommend the movie Blood Diner, though. If you like funny gore, late 80s movie, that is one for you. It is about 2 brothers that start serving people at their vegetarian diner in honor of the god Shitar. Back to Street Trash. Skip it.
What?
Again, there is no negative way to explain this movie that doesn't make you want to see it more.
I agree.
Street Trash has struck a tone that I don't think any movie will ever strike again, to where the negative review is the good review.
Right.
Oh,
that's great. That's great. So Fred is going to tell Ed about this liquor and the shit that's happening. But first he runs into Wizzy. And Wizzy knocks him down and takes the bottle. Okay. This is great. Because this is kind of what Fred wants to happen. Because he hates Wizzy. That's his nemesis, right?
Yeah. This is like a stroke of luck for Fred.
For what?
Fred.
Oh, I thought you said Brett. I was like, who's Brett?
Who the fuck is Brett?
I was like, what?
You just making up plot threads like the guy with the farts.
Yeah. I was like, what?
But what happened with the farts?
Anyway.
That plot thread was dropped. I want to know.
Anyway, so Bert comes up and he sees that Wizzy has taken Fred's bottle, and he goes to take the bottle from Wizzy, and Fred tells him, nope, just give him the bottle.
Yeah, give him the bottle.
Let him have it. Give it back to him. So Wizzy knocks out Bert with a pipe. They're kind of bantering back and forth or whatever, and then takes a drink of this Viper. And he starts to spew goo.
Oh, man. Wizzy's death is the most colorful, I think.
I think so, too.
And, like, he explodes into purple and pink. It is gross.
It's perfect.
It is lovely.
Yeah.
He ends up a crumpled skeleton on the ground with a face melting to the wall. Like, it is.
That's what he gets.
Good Lord.
Yep.
You're all a bunch of perverts. I keep imagining me being astounded by this movie, and then this old lady walking down the aisle. You're all a bunch of perverts watching this movie.
I imagine it's the lady from the grocery store.
You perverts. It's the same actress.
Yes.
I didn't know what I was in. This is disgusting, you perverts.
They just found me in a grocery store. Anyway.
I would believe it. I would fucking believe it. Anyway.
So Fred goes to tell Ed about the drink, but he doesn't get there on time because Ed takes a step outside, take a swig of the Viper, and Fred gets there and he gets to see the meltdown. Just outside of the store, just fucking melting.
Oh, yeah. It's a good meltdown. It's a good meltdown. And you're back on that fight with Bill and Bronson.
Yeah.
That's a good fight. Like, that's a good fight for this movie.
Oh, yeah.
I was in it. Like, you're like, wow, this
is
good.
You just remembered it?
This is better than Batman Begins. I can see the action.
Oh, my God.
I can see who's fighting who.
I'm allowed to watch. Ooh. So we're back with Bronson, and he's having another PTSD flashback kind of thing while he's drinking. He empties his the bottle that he has, and he throws it at his henchman, the hobo henchman.
Uh-huh.
They need to form I
told you,
like
it's a hobo mafia.
Yeah, these are the hobo
He's got a good
henchmen.
hobo mafia going.
And so one of his henchmen brings down the bottle of Viper for him because I guess they replenish him when he's out. Anyway.
He's, if it wasn't for the PTSDs and the outstandingly crazy mood swings, Bronson's got it made.
Oh, yeah.
Gets all this money. He's got a nice ripped t-shirt.
I mean, he looks decent.
He's buff, top of his game. Again, really, if you looked at everybody a certain way, like I said, like Fred earlier, it just looks like they came off of a band from the 70s. It's not much.
Right.
Bronson could have been the lead singer.
They're all just a little dirty. Like, just a little. Anyway, so he's going to take a drink from this bottle, but his girlfriend ends up taking it. And she takes a drink, so she ends up lactating goo and melting into a car. Man,
it's good. It's another good melt scene, man. And we're getting them one after the other. Like I said, they really make sure everybody dies a different way. And so I think that's another reason why the practical effects in this movie are just wow, this still looks pretty good for 87.
Because not everybody melts the same way.
Yeah,
and they have different body parts at the end.
Yeah, different goo. Hers is just all green, I think. It's just gross hunter green coming out.
And it's coming out of her nipple. That's not what you want.
That's not what you want.
That's an infection. Oh, yeah.
What kind of STD makes your nipples spew green?
So, Wendy is with Kevin, and they're talking or whatever, and he just randomly tries to touch her pussy. Was he trying to touch her pussy or trying to grab her thigh? I don't know, but it was dangerously close to her pussy.
I thought we were grabbing thighs, is what I was thinking. I did not think he pulled the old Donald Trump on her. I didn't think he was grabbing her by the pussy.
But he was staring into it. The camera angle was right there.
Oh, he really was. Yeah, he was. staring
So
at
he's
Supposedly-
grabbing
yeah,
in
you're
that
right.
area, okay?
Yeah. Maybe this is where Donald Trump learned it from, you know?
Maybe.
They just let you do it. They just let you grab him by the pussy.
They just let you.
They just let you.
Anyway.
Don't worry, you guys. That's locker room talk. We can get away with it. Our president did. Anyway, moving
Oh my
on.
gosh. So she takes him inside. She takes this as a proposition. She takes him inside. She's gonna fuck him.
You know, and you think you're like, oh, really? Kevin tries to touch your pussy one time, you were down for it, but
Yeah.
But you got to think she's been working around Pat Ryan all day, who keeps trying to fuck her, and he looks like the Michelin Man, and it's
but
just.
that's not turning me on. I'm like I'm grossed out by men at that point.
But you have Kevin, who's kind of decent, who looks he's the cleanest of all the hobos, really, and
you
I don't know,
couldn't go
man.
to a bar.
I don't know because I haven't seen a looker in this movie.
You couldn't
the
go to the
doorman
bar.
from Duran's is like the only good-looking man in this entire movie.
And that's saying something because I ain't doing it.
Exactly,
Mm-mm.
exactly. So you got, she might not have her choice. Is what I'm saying. Maybe sometimes you got to settle. Kevin has a good personality. Is what he likes Spider-Man. That's cool. We got something to talk about.
Spider-Man. Anyway.
He has a dick. Like he was not one of the unfortunate ones that got it cut off, because
Not yet.
judging by what happens in this movie, I'm assuming Bronson is just cutting dicks off like as much as he can if they pop out in front of him. So that leads me to believe not a lot of dicks in this hobo mafia.
Anyway. So Bronson sees them go inside and he busts in on them and he's gonna kill Kevin.
Yeah, because Bronson, this whole entire movie, he's been watching her through this, and he had a non-flashback about having sex with her and shit like that. So he's
Right.
been wanting to do her for a long time, and so seeing Kevin come out of his fucking pompous ass hobo mansion, thinking he's got everything, he's got good looks, no non-flashbacks,
Bitches.
motherfucker. Thinking he's good. I'm king of the hobos. I should have first dibs.
Oh my god. And you know what's really funny is earlier in the movie when we first see Bronson's girlfriend or whatever, I never give her a name because I didn't catch it.
I think it's Wynette.
Okay,
I
would have
don't.
never caught
Again, it's just because I've watched this a million times.
that. So he's like talking to her when they're like making out, they're about to fuck or whatever. And he says, "I'm the only one, right?" She's like, "You're the only one." And then later on, she says something about, or he says something about her being passed around to everybody. Someone makes a comment
There is
about
a
her.
lot of comments that they've all had their way with Wynette.
Yeah.
Wizzy is the one that makes it because he's like,
Oh,
"Oh,
okay.
she's better than most of the pussy hanging around here," and he's like, "That's true." It's like, ew.
Well, why is he like, I'm the only one, right? Oh, because men. Anyway.
Yeah, because you remember like when they're playing Piggy in the, I don't even want to say that. When they're playing Keep Away with That Man's Cock and it lands at her, you remember she picks it up and is looking at it and he's like, gets all jealous.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I'd be jealous of a severed cock. I'd be more like, please put that down. Don't touch that severed dick. We don't know where it's been and why it's severed, Like, that's the question. Like,
So Bronson's going to kill Kevin, and he chases him all over this, like, warehouse in the junkyard. I don't know.
yeah, it's got, like, car parts and stuff.
Yeah. And this scene goes on for a long time, by the way.
It's a little bit much of the cat and mouse here. I'm not a
Yeah.
big fan of, like, cat and mouse when it's, like, extended scenes like this where you're trying to get your runtime.
Yeah.
It's obvious.
And this is definitely
Yeah.
that. So Fred ends up finding Bronson, and he throws a bottle of Viper at him, burning his face. And Bronson's going to kill Fred, but Kevin is over by these oxygen tanks, and he ends up like shooting this oxygen tank right at Bronson, and
blows his, like, it doesn't just decapitate him.
It's like
pulls
part of his torso.
Yeah.
Like the V part in the middle,
Yeah,
when they do
it creates a V-neck out of this man's body.
Yeah, there you go. And he's just fucking gone.
It's amazing because this fucking torpedo, like fucking oxygen tank, just shoots fucking and kills this motherfucker.
Right. So I realized that I left out a part earlier and I don't know. I thought I wrote this down, but I guess I didn't. Where Bill is talking to Frank and they're talking about this dead girl that Frank found.
Oh, are you talking about the layers of semen they found?
Oh my God, it's so fucking gross.
And first of all, like, this is some kind of fantasy shit that Funks wrote in this screenplay because he's talking about like DNA testing before DNA testing was a thing back in 87. Because Bill's like, they found several layers of semen inside of her.
And he was like, the third from last had syphilis.
I'm sorry.
And Frank's like walking off, like scratching himself.
And I'm sorry, but like, yeah, because Frank fucked the dead body.
Yeah.
But layers, like semen didn't mix. It just like created like a tree, like layers.
And that's what I want to know too. Like, how would you know that one set of semen?
Because it didn't mix. Because we're afraid of homophobia.
It didn't. Like that person had syphilis,
the
but
third
nobody
to the last.
else.
It's very specific. But that's what I was like. Layers, like a layer cake of semen is in this lady.
That's weird.
That doesn't seem like that's how that works.
Anyway, I don't know why I didn't write that. Probably because it was so ridiculous, but it's so gross.
It's nasty. It just goes over the top. And then when Bronson dies here, we get his severed head, which is a great effects shot.
Oh, yeah.
Of the severed head still kind of alive. And of course, his last thing he does on this earth is when Wendy leaps over him to go find Kevin, make sure he's all right. He looks right up her dress.
Oh, well, why not? You know you would. Severed head or not.
Oh, just that's where we end. A severed head looks up a dress in this movie. But wait, it's not. We got more.
It's not over.
But wait, there's more.
There's more. So as we're getting this title screen, we see Duran or whatever. He has the doorman tied up, and the doorman's trying to talk his way out of dying. Then Duran takes a drink of Viper and melts into goo. We don't get to see this one, but he's talking this shit. He's talking shit the whole way down.
Yeah, well, he's dying. Because this doorman dude's like, I'm the new Don now. Like, get that ring before it gets nasty.
Right.
And dude, Duran's like, suck my dick. Suck your dick. Your dick's down the hallway. It's falling down the stairs.
They're just talking shit to each other the
he
whole time.
He talks shit this whole time. And then that's where it ends, and we get that song by Duran. My name is Duran. What the... the biggest thing I've read about the negative reviews of this movie, some of the biggest things is that it has no plot. It has no storyline or anything like that. But I bring this to you, dear listener. This is the melt movie of hangout movies. This is a hangout movie.
Oh, yeah.
This is a day in the life.
Oh, yeah.
This is a bunch of, like, just a picture of a bunch of characters doing different things. They all kind of interconnect at the end.
Yeah.
This is a hangout movie of melt movies.
It really is.
It fucking is.
It really is.
So it doesn't need a specific plot.
The plot is that there's a bunch of homeless people that drink a lot.
That's the plot. There's no,
because
you look back on like Pulp Fiction, hangout movie, no plot to it. Where else on the internet, you guys, are you gonna hear street trash compared to Pulp Fiction? That's the Night of the Horror File guarantee. You're gonna hear stuff like that all the time. But yeah, that's where Street Trash ends. And Street Trash was released to a limited theaters in June 1987. The same year they got this thing on VHS, which is pretty impressive for that time, which is how it reached a lot of fans. VHS is where I saw it first. A lot of people saw this on a video. Nobody saw this in the theater. The people who did, it's like at festivals and stuff. We read a few reviews that were from festivals. But reception for this was pretty negative for the most part, obviously. Most of it, like, I read one review where it said it had no redeeming social value.
Is it supposed
And I mean, for a movie with at least 128 fucks in the dialogue, what are you going for? It's called Street Trash.
Right.
And Street Trash made money. It made more money in Europe than it did in the U.S., but there is one, it made money like amazingly.
Right.
And like I said, there is one secret to the sauce that makes a lot of this work.
Did you have to say that
Yeah,
after
I
our
had to.
layers of semen?
I had to. It is nasty. This is a nasty episode. We joked about rape.
I'm sorry.
We laughed about rape, you guys. But that's the secret to the sauce. Again, look, Brittany's burping. That's how nasty. It's street trash. We're doing an episode on street trash, baby. We should be farting.
I don't got any farts in
Then
me.
we please that guy who the plot thread got dropped.
Right.
The ingenious fart plot thread.
If you're listening to this and you wrote one of these reviews, I want to talk to you.
Yeah, because I gotta know what you thought you were going to see. But so anyway, like I said, there's one secret to this thing that I think makes it great is they got every one of these actors to behave like fucking maniacs.
Oh, yes.
There is not one person in this movie that is not just a fucking psycho. Even the doorman and Duran are just fucking out of their minds. And I think that's really what makes it stand out and really makes it fun, But Roy Frumpkus he's given a ton of fucking interviews on this movie, and you can find out all you want to know by his interviews and stuff like that. Like so many interviews he's done, and you can tell from those interviews that he loves this fucking movie. He has a belt buckle that has street trash on it. Yeah, he fucking loves this movie, and I think that's another reason why there's a lot of love in this movie, man. A lot of people went to work and they really enjoyed making this movie and got it done and stuff like that. And I think that shows. It's for me, it's a testament of everything I love in these 80s kind of movies that aren't the mainstream slashers and aren't the big famous 80s movies, It's got splatter. It's got fucking bodies flying apart and shit like that. You got gore, you got shock value, and just some of the best practical effects in low budget history, man. Of course, it's not everyone's idea of a good time, as you found out from our fucking reviews. But again, just makes you want to see it better or more. And so here's a little snippet from Brian Eggert of Deep Focus. His review was a bit negative, to say the least. Okay, here we go. Around the time an unsuspecting bum inadvertently urinates on another, causing the pee victim to chop off the offending man's penis, while at the same moment, not far away, a would-be rapist engaged in necrophilia with the corpse of a gang rape victim, I decided street trash wasn't my cup of tea. All I saw was a desperate attempt to get a reaction. My response to the film is the same with a bully or noisy child. I just roll my eyes and ignore it. Again.
A desperate attempt to get a reaction. Isn't that every movie you've ever
I think the
fucking
fact
seen?
that you were done with it after all that got a reaction out of you. Again, doesn't that just make this movie sound awesome?
Yeah, but isn't that the point of every movie ever made? Is to get a reaction out of people?
Yeah, if it's not, then what are you watching?
Right.
Lawrence of Olivia.
Oh my God.
Lawrence of Arabia. I have been saying this fucking
You said
name.
Olivia.
I have been saying the name of the Lawrence of Arabia wrong this entire time. Olivier is the last name of the actor.
Oh my God.
Anyway, but I gotta say, man, every bad review you read, you just want to see this more. And again, I don't know of a movie that does this. I don't know of another movie that has gotten negative reviews that make you want to see it. But you know what? I just, at the end of the fucking day, I find this movie fun. And so it is what it is. It's just a good time for me. But what is it to you? Enough of me. What did you think of Street Trash from 1987?
Okay. I was not meant to like this movie, right?
No, I really thought out of all the movies that were for listener request month, this might have been the one negative.
So I don't know if it is my mindset. I don't know if I'm losing my brain because this week has been just fucking insane. I don't know. All I know is I really liked this movie.
It has an ability to be better than it deserves to be.
Right.
This should not be that good. Like I said, it's a hangout movie.
It made me laugh. It grossed me out. For some reason, these hobos are my people. Like, I want to hang out with them. I want to drink some Viper with them or
Yeah,
something.
you kind of want to hang out with Fred. Seems
Yeah.
all right.
I'd go hang out in his,
Hobo mansion.
yeah, I mean, as long as he's not trying to rape me, I'm good.
Yeah, maybe don't get undressed in the hobo mansion because
Yeah,
the hobo
yeah.
mansion has windows. I think that was the
Yeah.
flaw of the building of the hobo mansion. I know what they were going for. They really wanted it to be like a home, but sometimes windows are a negative. Put a mirror in there if you guys want,
Well, maybe he did that for his friends. Maybe he was like, yeah, come watch me fuck these bitches.
Yeah, but then they tore down the wall.
Yeah, they fixed it. It's just tires.
There's a front door, motherfuckers. I'd be more pissed that they tore down my hobo mansion
But you
wall.
can fix it.
It's
You ain't
true.
got nothing else to do. Not like
It's
going to
fucking-
work tomorrow.
You're fucking right. You're fucking right.
It's not fucking drywall.
But yeah, this movie, and I always say, because a lot of people are like, oh, I don't like movies like that. And I'm like, give it a chance. Because
Oh, yeah.
it's a good movie. I don't understand how it can do that. You watch something like Tromeo and Juliet and stuff like that.
Mm.
It has the same way. It strikes the same chord. You watch it and you're like, this is disgusting, but it's good.
Right.
Like, this is a good movie. Like, again, and I think what Street Trash does is it does mix that highbrow and lowbrow humor together, and it hits that fine line of politically incorrect.
Right.
To the point where it doesn't feel like it's punching down, which would be very easy for a movie about homeless people.
Right.
We very much could have punched down, but I didn't feel like it was knocking homeless people at all.
No, I don't think so either.
That's what's crazy. If anything, it was more knocking cops because Bill is off his fucking hinges through this whole
oh my
thing.
God, the whole thing.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about Bill that much, but he is a maniac. He is in a constant state of grump. Like he's
Bronson is his arch nemesis. He's like, oh, fuck you, Bronson. I'm going to get you.
and he was bested by Bronson. Bested in
Damn
that
it.
fantastic fight scene.
And nobody investigated.
No. And it's just
They were tired of him too.
They're like, oh God, thank you. He's finally dead. This guy's such an asshole. Oh, he does seem like he's like 2 seconds away from beating a black guy. Like, it's
Oh,
this
yeah.
whole fucking movie.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, I don't know what to tell you. This is a good movie.
Oh yeah.
This is a pretty good movie. Like
I liked it.
Yeah, out of all the Melt movies, it seems like there was a lot of these in the 80s that not a lot of people talk about very much. And that's why I'm thankful for The Last Drive-In, because Joe Bob Briggs has really done a good job at bringing these forward and really showing you that there was more movies in the 80s aside from like A Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th movies. Stuff that people get like generally stuck on, I think The Shining counts as an 80 movie because it was an 81. People, when you think about 80s horror, you tend to think about the slasher movies.
Right.
And so like what his show has done is really brought these to the forefront, because I feel like I hear more talk about Street Trash now after it was featured on The Last Drive-In than I did before. And not saying that this didn't have a cult following before. This had a massive cult following. But now it's so popular amongst the horror fans that it's almost like a mainstream movie, which is really insane. And so I really like that, you go back and you look at these 80s movies and you get to watch these, you get to watch like Society. Society is another Melt movie that's just so good. It's so much better than it gets credit for.
You know what? If someone paid for my tattoo, I'd get Street Trash tattooed on my ass.
It's that good, you
Right.
guys. It is that good.
I'm getting Street Trash tattooed on my ass.
But yeah, Street Trash obviously did not have any sequels, anything like that, but it is being remade. That's right. Street Trash is getting its own remake from director of Fried Berry, Ryan Kruger. It's going to be awesome. He released a lot of on-set photos and stuff and a few videos of the practical effects because he's going all practical from what the looks of it is.
Nice.
So lots of melting, lots of body gore. It's going to be a good time. So I can't wait to see what that looks like when he brings it back.
That'll be cool.
Yeah. And so, like I said, like you're remaking Street Trash. Like that's so amazing that this movie has survived this long.
Right.
And it's gone on to inspire so many people. But yeah, that's Street Trash from 1987, a movie Brittany surprisingly loved. I really didn't think you were going to like this movie. Oh, but next week, what do we got? We got a movie.
A movie, yeah.
A movie about killer slugs, you guys.
Nice.
You get to see a little slug bite someone. It's one of my favorite scenes
Is
from
it
a movie.
cute?
Oh, it's adorable. It's an adorable little slug with little teeth, and it's like,
No.
it is glorious. And so, yes, we're dissecting slugs next week, and that
Nice.
was requested by Seth, and we will talk more about that on that episode.
You better not disappoint me, Seth.
I think you're gonna. I don't know if you're gonna like this. Like, now that you like Street Trash, now
God.
everything's out the window. I have no idea.
Oh, God.
But anyway, that's our episode for this week. Thank you guys for listening. Remember, go check out the Patreon. I think we plugged it a lot on here. Go check out the Patreon. $5 a month. You get like a weekly episode of Shooting the Shit, which comes out Friday nights, sometimes Saturdays. It comes out around that time.
Right.
But you get that weekly show, and then monthly you get our Twin Peaks retrospective, which also covers David Lynch movies. We talk about David Lynch movies every now and then on there. And also the Campbell Hour, which we're talking about Ash versus Evil Dead. Before you go and subscribe and get into the Campbell Hour, be aware that we make a joke that it's not actually a full hour.
Right.
But lots of stuff on there. You'll get updates, constant updates about the movie I'm working on. So if you want to learn more about Trip and all that stuff, you can go check that out on Patreon. But anyway, until next week when we see an adorable little slug bite somebody, I'm Lee Evans saying stay spooky.
And I'm Brittany. Stay horrific.
Bye-bye.
Don't drink the Viper.
Thanks for listening. To get a hold of us and submit your stories, fan mail, and death threats, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and nightofthehorrorfile.com. Our theme song was written and performed by John Brennan, used with permission. Find John at shopjb.bandcamp.com and at badtechno.com. If you like what you hear, leave a good review wherever you listen to podcasts, and share the show on your social media. See you next week.
You can stop the bullshit.